G'day guys, welcome back to AFL Legends Unite. I'm Dale Atkinson. It's good to be back. Just a lot happening lately, so I was unable to do quite a significant amount of work and videos. But hey, I'm back. Let's just get straight into it, shall we? We're going to start off with tonight's game from the MCG, Geelong and Sydney. Geelong were absolutely murdered by Richmond. It was absolutely hilarious, I do have to admit. Geelong, I've been hearing their supporters all year just talk themselves up, say, oh, we're going to be premiers this year, we're so good, we're awesome, no one's going to beat us. And then Richmond come off and destroy them. And all of a sudden they're no longer anywhere near premiership favourites. In fact, they're not even favourites to win this game. And I absolutely bloody agree with that. I think Sydney aren't going to just beat Geelong, they're going to smash them by 10 goals. Geelong are hopeless, they're shocking, even with one change or two changes with Menzel and Lane coming in. Guthrie did his calf and Murdoch is omitted. Looking at Sydney, there are no changes for the Swannies, but a big congratulations to McVeigh playing his 300th AFL game for the Swannies. Absolutely sensational work by Sydney last week. I'm not surprised they won. I tipped them to win by 10 goals and they won by 13 goals against the shocking Bombers. But you know, it's good for the Bombers. You know, they'll last year they were last place in the ladder, and this year, you know, they made the 8. So you know, and they do what they do best, and that is get smashed in the finals. So congratulations to Western for living up to expectations. Anyway, let's go straight to the lineups, and we're starting with Geelong's defence with Stewart, Lonergan, and Tui. And half-back in Mackie, Henderson and Guthrie, a couple of ex-Carlton players, which I'm actually happy don't play for us anymore, because you know, just like the rebuild that we're having this year. And yes, I was absolutely I was absolutely crazy at that Hawthorn game, by the way. But I won't get into it. Back to this. Straight into the centre, and we've got Duncan, Selwood, and Blitzcarves. Half forward in Menegola, Taylor and Parfitt. Forwards in Daniel Menzel, Tom Hawkins and James Parsons. Followers in Smith, Dangerfield and Selwood. Interchange, Buse, Kologjagny, and Lang and Motlop. Emergencies in Stanley, Murdoch and Thurlow. So, interesting lineup. Mostly not much has changed from last week. I'm actually quite interested about the injuries though with Geelong. I want to see which players are actually carrying injuries, and is it really wise to keep them on the side? Like, you know, last week, I know if they had injuries last week and they had players playing injured, what was the logical point of playing them? Like, you know, I understand that you guys want to play preliminary final, but you got nowhere near it, and if your players were injured, they probably got even more injured because of the body contact from the Richmond Football Club. You just need to think logically about this situation. What's going to benefit you in the long run? Is it playing your injured players in a game of football against a team that dominates the MCG, or would you rather take them out of the side, let them rest up for a bit longer, give some young kids some experience? You're gonna lose. You lost anyway. Boo-hoo-hoo. You still survived this year. You still go through into a semi-final. Your players that were injured are now feeling refreshed and ready to take on the semi-final against Sydney. Yes, Sydney, and you will probably had a better chance. And then head into a preliminary final. Actually, who was it? Got to look this one up actually. No, that would be against Adelaide at Adelaide Oval, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it would be Adelaide at Adelaide Oval, and challenge them, which is what I think Geelong should have done in the first place. But nah, Brad Scott, shocking, disappointing. And it really does raise a lot of questions. I'm actually going to just quickly get this stat out. I believe, I actually won't say it now. Did I say Brad Scott not too long ago? I did, didn't I? I'm an absolute fucking idiot. I meant Chris Scott. Fuck me. Hey, give me some little leeway, guys. It's been a while since I've done it. I'm just not focused at the moment. But yes, I was right. Chris Scott. Oh, sorry, Geelong since 2011, won 2 finals, lost 7. Ouch. That's a bit humiliating. Oh wow, how do you even contemplate that? Actually, I don't even think that includes 2011. I think that more includes 2012 to the present. So 2 finals wins, 7 finals losses. That raises a lot of question for Chris Scott and the Geelong players. Geelong, I think Geelong's great years are past them. I like what they were trying to do was get decent players, and they do have decent players, but they're just not showing enough so far. Anyway, straight to the Sydney Swans lineup, and this is going to be interesting. There's no changes, so defence, Smith, Grundy, Mills, halfback, McVeigh, Rampy, Jones, centres and Heaney, Kennedy, Lloyd, half forwards and Towers, Franklin, Hewitt, forwards and Jack, Sinclair, Reid, followers, Naismith, Hanbury, Parker, interchanges in Cunningham, Newman, Papley, Rowan, Alia in emergency with Robinson and Milligan. And obviously, again, congratulations to McVeigh for his 300th game. A few really good players there, like Mills hasn't had a bad season. Jones has been outstanding if he can control his fucking anger. Kennedy took a little while to get back into it, but he's generally quite an old player, but he still does pretty damn well. Parker, sensational. It's going to be extremely difficult for the Cats to actually win this one. That's why I'm tipping the Sydney Swans by 10 goals. I just don't see Geelong coming anywhere near them. They looked injured, they looked tired. They just don't look competitive enough to take on the Sydney Swans, so that's kind of it. I think that'll be the last we'll see of Geelong. But yeah, very disappointing. Straight to Saturday night, 7:25 p.m. Spotless Stadium between the Giants and the Eagles. This one is also going to be. This is probably going to be way more interesting than what we saw. What we're going to probably see tonight. Tonight being Friday night. And I'm actually tipping West Coast in this one. I just feel like even with Nick Nat Paddywhack out, I still think the Giants just have a few more injuries and they're gonna be I don't know, just not feeling like they can win. I think it's a 50-50 game. I think it's a 50-50 game, but I'm leaning towards West Coast because they've shown a lot in close games, particularly in the last couple of games they've played. They've shown really good vibes, and they've got a far more experienced lineup than what the Giants have. The Giants look young, and they still got a lot to learn, as we saw against Adelaide Crows, where they were absolutely destroyed. Straight to the lineup, we've got a few changes here for the Giants. Taranto and Stevie J is back. Jeremy Cameron did his hammy and Mumford did his foot. That's actually a huge out for the Giants. Shane Mumford. And for the changes in West Coast, just one Wellingham comes in and Partington is omitted. So, very interesting there. Congratulations to Tom Scully playing his 150th game. Absolutely fantastic job there. Straight to the lineup, staying in defence for the GWS Giants. We've got Haynes, Core, Williams in the back, halfback and Shaw, Davis, Whitfield, setters and Wilson, Kelly, Scully, half forwards and Hopper, Patton, Taranto, forwards and DeBowie, Himmelberg and Green, followers and Lobb, Coniglio and Ward, interchanges and Tomlinson, Shield, and Stevie J and Brett Deledio. Emergencies in Simpson, Perryman and Jay Reid. Straight to West Coast lineup, Barris, McKenzie, Shepherd make up the back line, while halfback in Yeo, McGovern and Hearn. Jetta, Prentice, Gaff make up the centre. Redden, Darling, Sheed, half forward. Lacroix, Kennedy, Cripps forward. And followers in Vardy, Mitchell, Shuey. Interchanges in Wellingham, Duggan, Petrie and Hutchings. Emergencies in Marston, Partington and Schofield. So that's it for the lineups. This is going to be interesting, and if there's anything that, that I've learned this final series is that it really comes down to the scoreboard, because in finals, a lot of stats just don't count, because teams are completely different. They behave differently. They play completely differently to what you see in the main season. The main season, generally, they can be quite protective. They're not really attacking. But when it comes to finals, they're just throwing their bodies left, right, and centre, because they know they've got everything to lose. They got everything to lose. So they got to put in 150% just to win this game. And this goes for these four sides that are going to be playing these semis. Geelong, Sydney, Giants, West Coast, you watch them, they'll be smashing around, diving left, right, centre. Well, I hope Geelong is. I'm actually not too confident they might not. They might be a bit too injured to even attempt to try to stop the Sydney Swans from doing the switch up the ground. So, it's going to be interesting to see how these games play out, but I'm just feeling like tonight's game is going to be a thrashing, and the Swans will go on to a prelim, and that West Coast and Giants will be very interesting. I just can't see it being any big than 4 goals. I just don't see the margin being any bigger than 4 goals. I think it'll be a low-scoring affair, but yeah, if you're a Sydney Swan supporter, you're going to feel very confident tonight. Particularly it's at the MCG, which is rightfully so. And I'll quickly just add a little statement here about this whole controversy about Geelong not playing their home final at Simonds Stadium. And frankly, I don't even think Simonds Stadium should even host any AFL game at all. I think it's tiny. 32,000. Like, what the fuck were you spending all that money on? You upgrade the stadium and it only can fit today 32,000. Is this a joke? Are you kidding me, Geelong? Where did the money go? What, you got like a strip club in the attic or something? Where did the money go? It's absolutely a joke down there in Geelong at Simonds Stadium. I think ground should be upgraded to hold a minimum of 60,000, excluding the new teams, because they're still trying to find supporters. They're only young, which is why the Giants can play at Spotless Stadium, because they don't have that many supporters. They might be very good, but they still don't have that many supporters. They're still trying to build a reputation. They're still young. This side is still leading them. This is the first generation of the Giants trying to lead them in to a flag. Like, they can do that. They can play at a tinier venue. But Geelong, you've been around since 1897, since the league began. You've been in. Well, you haven't been in every single season. You skipped a few seasons during both World Wars, because only Carlton and Collingwood have only played in every year. But you played in like 98% of the years of every season, nearly every season. But 32,000 seats. Are you kidding me? Like, that's a joke. That has to be some sort of joke. Somebody's clearly made some blueprints, built up the stadium, and it must be an absolute. Oh, it's a shocker. It really is, and I don't think we should even be playing AFL games in Geelong. Not until the Geelong Football Club or the council there upgrades the stadium to fit a minimum of 50,000 people. Until it can fit a minimum of 50,000 people, don't even talk about Simonds Stadium. Don't even mention it. But that's it for me here today, guys. Again, Swans are going for 10 goals, and West Coast by 4 points in a thriller. It's going to be exciting, particularly tomorrow night. But yes, that's it from me here at AFL Legends Unite, guys. You all take care, stay safe, and I shall see you in the next video.